If you're running Google Ads for a local service business, but the results aren't where you want them to be, there might be a few common mistakes that might be affecting your campaigns. In this video, I'll walk you through several issues local service businesses sometimes overlook and why fixing them can make a difference. So let's get started. So guys, if you're a local service business and you're running Google Ads, here in this video, I'm going to talk about certain mistakes local service businesses can make to generate phone calls or form submissions with Google Ads. This is one of our example account, and in the last 30 days, as you can see, we've generated around 573 phone calls, which you can see from here. And the number of conversions is around 342 conversions. And with these conversions, we try to track unique number of phone calls. And let's say some people might call several times and you need to still track them as one conversion. Or there might be some number of missed phone calls, or there might be phone calls which are less than, let's say, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, which might be lower quality phone calls. That's why the number of conversions can be lower here than the number of phone calls shown here. And this cost per conversion is calculated based on this number of conversions, which is around $17.23. And your cost per conversion might not be this low depending on your industry. If you are a plumbing business, if you're an electrician or a towing company, locksmith company, the numbers can be different depending on your location, and from state to state, the numbers can be different because of the competition level as well. But here in this video, we're going to talk about certain mistakes that local service businesses can make while running Google Ads. So let's get started. A quick reminder, I've generated thousands of phone calls using Google Ads. If you want to copy my exact Google Ads campaign structure to generate phone calls, I'm giving it away for free. You can use it as a blueprint or copy it into your own account. Link is in the description below. So the first mistake I would say, before even running your ads, from day one, you should be properly tracking your conversions. So if you are receiving phone calls, you should be tracking phone call conversions. Or if you're receiving also form submissions, you should also be tracking form submission conversion actions. Otherwise, you don't know which areas of your campaigns are performing better or worse, and it is hard to make optimizations with that way. So if you're going to scroll down with this specific account, we're mostly tracking phone calls. And our main focus is to generate as many phone calls as possible. So here, for example, in the phone call section, this is where we're getting phone calls from ads. And you need to also have phone call related conversions from the website, which is added here. So you might have phone call related conversions from the website, and you might have phone calls coming directly from ads as well. And as I told, if you're also tracking form submissions, you need to be tracking submitted forms as well, so that you need to send the data back to Google Ads, and you need to know which areas of your campaigns are performing better or worse, and depending on that, you can make optimizations and allocate your budget accordingly. So I would suggest you to do this step before even you start running your ads, and make sure that you're properly tracking conversions, and that can help you optimize your campaigns. And the next thing is adding irrelevant network types. And depending on the campaign type, by default, Google Ads might suggest you to add other network types, which might be lower quality, and you might waste some of your budget for those lower quality traffic. And for some people, that might be obvious, but certain businesses still can make those mistakes. So let's see that quickly. So if you're going to click on this settings icon and click on networks, and make sure that you don't have any network types checked here. Otherwise, Google Ads might send you traffic from these network types, which might not be higher quality. And let's say with Google search, you spent 70% of your budget, and the remaining 30%, 20% can be spent with lower quality network types, which might waste some of your budget. And the next thing on our list, using non-search type of campaigns too early. So let's say you have created your campaigns, or whenever you're opening your Google Ads account and start running ads, Google Ads might immediately suggest you to run your campaigns with smart campaigns, or it might offer you to run Performance Max or display or other types of campaigns, which might not attract higher quality traffic, and they may waste more of your budget than bringing higher quality phone calls. And initially, I would suggest you to focus more on the search campaigns and focus on getting higher quality traffic from search campaigns. And once you've generated some data and you're getting consistent number of phone calls daily or weekly, then you can slowly start adding other types of campaigns. But still, I would not suggest you to add, let's say, display campaigns or YouTube campaigns, discovery, I would not suggest to add those types of campaigns. I would suggest you, once you've generated enough data and with stricter conversion tracking, you can slowly start implementing Performance Max. But after you have started generating data and with reliable conversion tracking strategy, you can use that type of campaign. Otherwise, I would suggest you to focus mostly on search campaigns, which can attract higher quality traffic with targeted campaign structure. And the next mistake the businesses can make, applying Google's automated recommendations, and sometimes even without knowing. So you can go to the recommendations section, and from here, I'm not going to scroll down because there might be some client information. But from the recommendations section, you can go to the auto apply settings and make sure that you turn them off, and you shouldn't use auto apply recommendations. And some businesses might not even know their campaigns are automatically changed by auto apply recommendation. And here also, it might suggest you to improve your optimization score with sometimes irrelevant things. For example, here my optimization score is 60%, but I'm consistently generating phone calls and the cost per conversions are low. This optimization score is AI generated and it may not reflect the quality of your campaigns. So I would not suggest you to look at this metric and try to improve your targetings by looking at these percentages. And instead, if you're running targeted campaigns by applying this auto apply recommendations, your campaign performance might change and it might affect your learning period. And also, certain optimizations may not even make sense. So you can go to the auto apply settings and turn them off. And rather than applying all of these optimization score metrics, which can affect the quality of your campaigns, you can focus on making your campaigns more targeted and focus on bringing higher intent traffic instead. And that leads us to the next mistake, which means you may not be focusing on the higher intent keywords from the start. So we are in the keyword planner section. You're going to go to tools, and the planner, you're going to go to keyword planner, and we'll see which kind of keywords we can target to attract higher intent traffic. So we're going to click on discover new keywords. And here, let's say as an example, we're going to choose a keyword from the locksmith industry. And with one keyword idea, we have 814 keyword ideas available, and we can choose different types of keywords from here. So let's say the keyword of locksmith could be medium intent, which can attract higher quality traffic. At the same time, it can attract people who are just looking for information. Let's say they may want to be a locksmith themselves, or maybe they're looking for the cost of locksmith services. But overall, from this list, we need to find higher intent keywords. So let me quickly find them. So guys, I've chosen the keywords, and there are mostly near me types of keywords. Locksmith near me, car locksmith near me, emergency locksmith near me, car key replacement near me, 24-hour locksmith near me, automotive locksmith near me, open now. And if they're used by somebody, there is a high chance that they're looking for locksmith services. And they might use your service if you can convince them with your ad copies, or let's say they've clicked on your ad and after that they visit your landing page. With your landing page, with the right messaging, you can convince them as well to contact your business. So the point is, from early on, you should focus on adding highly relevant keywords and not lower quality and medium quality types of keywords, which can attract higher quality phone calls, but at the same time, they can waste some of your budget. But let's say initially you want to increase the number of clicks, and at least you shouldn't be targeting lower intent keywords. And those lower intent keywords could be like people looking for information, and at the same time, that could be people looking for services. And that's not clear with one keyword. And if you add them as phrase match or even broad match, that can increase the chance of getting lower quality traffic. So that's what you need to focus on when it comes to choosing your target keywords when you start running your campaigns. And the next mistake businesses can make is sending traffic to their homepage or not creating a dedicated landing page for Google Ads, which is specialized to generate phone calls or form submission. So I cannot share the landing page of the client. And let's imagine this Google Ads dashboard is our landing page, and we're going to see how you can analyze your landing page. So let's say this is our landing page, and you can see that in different screen sizes. And for mobile devices, your landing page should be focused on generating phone calls. So you might have clear headlines, which is relevant to the target keywords, and you might have descriptions, and you might have trust factors. Otherwise, your landing page should be able to immediately convince the visitors why you are the right type of company they're looking for. And after that, you can add your call buttons, or below that, you can add your form submissions. And overall, a landing page is also a big factor when it comes to increasing your conversion rate. Otherwise, you might get higher quality traffic and your landing page might be average, which can waste some of your budget. With my own clients, I try to build their landing pages with my own templates. Otherwise, I may need to use their generic landing pages, which may not convert. Or let's say they might generate some number of phone calls or form submissions, but with higher quality landing page, the number of phone calls and form submissions can be even higher. And the next mistake, they might be running ad groups for multiple service types. Again, as an example, in the locksmith industry, let's say they have one ad group and that one ad group can include the automotive locksmith services, or they can include the generic locksmith types of services, or that can also include, let's say, 24-hour emergency types of locksmith services. But instead, they can have their own separate ad groups, which can help you to make the ads more targeted. And if you can have targeted ad copies and even landing pages for those types of keywords, you can show more relevant ad copies and landing pages for those users and increase the chance of getting more conversions with that way. So if you have been running one or two ad groups for different types of services, you can consider creating multiple ad groups for different types of services and make your campaigns more targeted with that way. And with my clients, depending on the client industry and their location, I can create ad groups, and the number of ad groups can be at least 10, if not 15, 20 plus. Again, depending on the industry or the number of locations they're targeting. Because with one location, there might be multiple cities, for example. Or even if they're targeting one or two locations, the number of services or the types of keywords they're using for their Google ads can be different from one another. So depending on that, you can have multiple ad groups. And the last thing in our list, you might not be monitoring what's working and shifting budget accordingly. So let's say you might have different types of keywords, and certain keywords are generating more phone calls than certain types of keywords, or certain types of ad groups are generating more phone calls. Or let's say if you have multiple campaigns, certain campaigns are generating more phone calls than others. Depending on that, you can shift your budget accordingly. So let's say if there are areas which can bring you more phone calls at cheaper cost, you can allocate more budget to those areas and you can get even more phone calls with those areas. And at the same time, let's say there might be certain areas which might be costing you a lot and they may not be bringing phone calls, or even they might be bringing phone calls, but the cost per phone call might be very high in those service areas or with those types of campaigns. Let's say you can reduce the budget and again allocate the budget to the areas which might be bringing you more profit. And you can do your optimizations regularly depending on your campaign performance. So guys, these are some of the mistakes local services businesses can make with their Google ads to generate phone calls and form submissions. And again, if you guys want to copy the type of my Google ads campaign structure, you can click the link in the description below. Or if you guys want my help to generate phone calls or form submissions for your local service business, you can also apply to work with me and we can see whether we can work together. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching this video and see you guys in my other videos.